Hey y'all, it's Blue Moon Oracle. I'm doing my final reading for the evening. It is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and this is your full moon reading. Again, it's for Capricorn. So far tonight we've put up Taurus and Virgo, and then I've done the fire signs, and I've done the air signs, and then tomorrow we'll be wrapping up the full moon series with our water signs. And it's raining outside and it's making me a little sleepy, so bear with me, okay? So I love doing these videos, but I'm getting used to doing them. I really am. They do take a lot of energy. So that's why I'm not doing them straight 3 hours in a row, because I have to take a moment between hand to like get recentered and like clear energy and check on the kid and the dogs. I think it was like hailing earlier too. Anyway, so gotta get my incense stuff going. I like having the smell goods go. And we're gonna get here into your full moon reading. But before we get started on the full moon reading, I wanna touch base on the new moon. So we're mid-lunar cycle. We are in the third day of the full moon phase. We have like a day or so left of the full moon phase. So we're at the midway point here. And so this is a time to take a look at what we've been manifesting. So we set our new intentions roughly 2 weeks ago. And if you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at that, you can go to my YouTube channel and look for the new moon readings. You can click on the minute marker for your sign and look at the oracle reading for that to see what that was. Oh, we're actually going to talk about that. I don't know why I just said that. I have actually took notes, so never mind. You can watch the whole thing though too, if you'd like to catch up and get familiar with it. And I'm still working out what that looks like. I'm new to the live readings, but anyway, so we're at the midway point. We're going to review the intentions. We're going to do a reading to see like what you've been manifesting. We're going to look at what aspects are going to come up, because now that the moon is now getting smaller, we are entering into, not there yet, we'll be there in a few days, the waning phase of the moon, where the releasing power comes in. Also during that phase, we go into a phase called the disseminating phase, and during that time, some self-limiting beliefs will start coming up, some internal challenges. So I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of get ahead of that and see what we have coming up so that we can be prepared. We can also, figure out what we need to release now and capitalize on that releasing energy, and then adjust our intentions if we need to for the remainder of the moon cycle, and then check and see what the results are going to be. Like, what magic are we creating? Like, why are we doing this work? Okay. So looking back, Capricorns, again, this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or your North Node. For those of you who don't know what that is, your North Node is a side of the moon. The North Node can tell you what your karmic lessons are, what you are here to accomplish, overcome, and bring balance into your life, how to clear karmic debt, learn karmic lessons. For instance, my North Node is in Libra, so I follow North Node astrology, a Libra astrology, to kind of help with my shadow work and my growing. So it's a good place to be. So if any of those are yours, this reading is for you. If it doesn't fit this month, go check out your rising sign, go check out your moon, or go check out your North Node in one of the readings. You could be in any one of those. They could be stronger in your chart this month, okay? This moon cycle. So during the new moon phase, we had a message from Spirit that came in for Capricorns. And the first thing that came up was to be pliable, okay? To say yes to things that you were not sure kind of how to move forward on. And then get uncomfortable. Be willing to get uncomfortable. You got the Strength card. And I got the Strength card for you from the Shadow deck, which has to do with a spiritual awakening. Specifically in this deck that I had felt led to grab a hold of, and referenced like the aligning of chakras, so Kundalini awakening and experience. And then the number Spirit gave me for you all was 888. So look up angel number 888, but we're gonna talk a little bit about 8 is. So I'd said at the beginning of the month that the numerology that I gave you all, Capricorn, was for the first 2 weeks, but I feel very strongly that that is for the entire lunar cycle. So the 8 is about breaking karmic patterns. Okay, it's a karmic number. Karma is king. It's about breaking cyclical patterns in your life. And you got that 3 times. 8 is also a number of power, of taking responsibility, of pushing through obstacles, of overcoming obstacles and pushing through to success. So the success is like a guarantee. So 8 is also about success. And you got that 3 times. It's about reward as well. And so that's kind of you get the times 3. And in numerology, what we also do when we're considering meanings is we take numbers like 888 and we combine it down to a single digit number. And that comes to 6. So 6 is the temporary vibration for you for the remainder of the lunar cycle is the number 6. Okay, Capricorn. And so 6 is a conscientious number. So it's reminding you to be conscientious. It's about harmony. It's about truth. It's about justice, and it's about balance. Specifically, domestic harmony and internal harmony. Okay. It's a number that is about like a teacher or a counselor or a healer. So it has to do with learning. It has to do with healing. It has to do with advising. So you may find yourself in one of those roles if that's not your profession, with your friends or in need of that. And so go ahead and remember, one of the words from Spirit for this lunar cycle was say yes. As a temporary vibration, there may be changes in your home. This could be due to marriage. It could be due to kids moving in or out. You're going to feel a sense of community responsibility, possibly. People, like I said, are going to be coming to you possibly for assistance with this number 6 as your number. Also, kind of like a heads up, like you're going to feel this compulsion to want to help and to want to do things, but don't take on any unnecessary responsibilities, because with this 8 as your karmic number and this 8 as king thing, there's going to be this need to finish what you start and to commit to the end. So just be thinking twice before you commit to things. Also, keep in mind that Mercury is now in retrograde, and through the 21st of February. So avoid major decisions at this point, because Mercury rules all kinds of communication, including contracts, including negotiation. It's just best to not make any major decisions when Mercury goes into retrograde. Talking about the intentions that we set for Capricorn, we talked about from the Oracle deck back, was it like roughly 2 weeks ago? Talked about being open-minded to new spiritual ideas. Showing the world who you really are. And so one of the affirmations we came up with was, I know who I am and I walk in my own authority with confidence. And then also about picking up a new course of study or learning something new. This had to go with being with open-minded. And then you got a card that when I went back to listen to it again, I really kind of hit me a little differently. Like you got the new moon in Aquarius. And we talked about that, really being about so the Aquarian, when I think of Aquarian energy, I talked about the star card from the from the tarot deck. And so that's about like opening this, it's after like a big emotional experience. Think of that in like this, think of the tower card being cleared and everything wiped out, and that big expansion of space that's there, and having all this, alignment and openness and cleared energy. Okay. But right now Mercury in retrograde came in Aquarius, and we are in a full moon, and it was a full moon in Aquarius, the card was. So pay attention to what's going on right now. I feel like that's important. Paying attention to what's going on right now, it's significant. There's significance to what's going on right now. And I think this is where that open-mindedness needs to be in for you. I think this is where that's applicable. There's no coincidences. I feel like that's important to mention. There's just literally no coincidences. Okay, so things are happening for a reason. And I really feel very strongly about saying just this open-mindedness to the spiritual realm, or the, you don't have to call it spiritual, but just outside of the earth, the what you see, touch, and feel. Be open-minded to those things, okay? Especially right now. And I feel like that's kind of what that card had something to do with it, okay? And then coming into this phase, Capricorn, for the full moon. So now, the full moon, it came in Leo. Now we are in the full moon phase, but actually we're in Virgo right now. Was in your 8th house, and the 8th house has to do with joint finances, credit card debt, all kinds of debt. So clearing all kinds of debt. And then anything that you consider taboo, inheritance as well as transformation. So these are all things that the full moon is kind of bringing to the surface, that we're in this full moon phase for all of you, okay? And balance right now is important, and no major decisions again until after the 21st of February because of Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules communication. So it's, you know, be patient with yourself, be patient with others. You know, you might be tripping over your words. It could be some misunderstandings. Just, you know, if somebody says something off kilter, like that's a friend of yours or a family member, you know, try to just for a second think, does it sound like something they would normally say or do? Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Maybe it didn't come out right. Look into the number 888, angel number 888. Remember that 6 is your number. Look a little further deeper into that if you want to, but numerology is a way that these beings, entities, whatever the hell's out there, communicates to us. And so, you know, numbers are important. If you notice numbers appearing before you, you know, more than once, if they stand out, go ahead, go online and look up angel number, you know, 1111, 1224, whatever it is. You're going to get a message. It's going to be right on time. Feel like those are not coincidences, okay? It's hard to get messages to us. So numbers are a way that our ancestors, our guides, our angels, God, goddesses, you know, that is a way for them to talk to us. Okay, so keeping in mind that some of the new intentions, the intentions that we set at the new moon about being open-minded spiritually to new ideas, about walking in who you are authentically with confidence, and walking in your own authority, and then picking up new courses of study and learning new things. Let's see how you're doing. Let's see here. And bringing love into the situation. I know that was somebody else. Let's see how you're doing. 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 Okay. Take a moment. Take a deep breath with me. Take a deep breath. I've invited Archangel Gabriel, the messenger of God. He's the angel of communication, to help counter the astrological effects of Mercury in retrograde. I've also invited Archangel Uriel here. He is the angel of prophecy and psychics. I've invited Archangel Metatron as well. He helps with transcending karmic issues. He kind of rules over the Akashic records. So with the number 888, I figured that is probably important. Here I've invited my own guides and ancestors, as well as yours, to join us, and then, you know, the deities that I work with, as well as whomever it is you commune with, your higher self, my higher self, to come together into this space. This is a sacred space where things will be revealed to us to help us grow and transcend and break patterns and find liberation and freedom. And I really, truly believe that. Okay? All right, Capricorn. What have you been manifesting? What have Capricorn... You know, I want to do something different really quick, just really quick. I'm going to grab one card or whatever jumps from my Starseed Oracle. It's a new deck. It's a new Oracle deck, so I may have to grab the book. But I don't know. I just want to try this new deck out on you. I feel like I don't know. I'm going to do it and see, before we get started, just what the universe has to say specifically for you, Capricorn. It has nothing to do with this full moon reading, just what needs to be said to you, okay? From the Starseed Oracle. And I'll show you this book in case you want to get it for yourself. And the purpose of this deck is about longing for home, not knowing where home was, a sense of knowing deep in your soul. It's about being a starseed soul. And, you know, for those of us who maybe, I don't know. I feel like I need to share it. There's somebody who's going to guarantee from it. Okay, got two cards. You're not for everyone, Capricorn. Embrace your weirdness and face your true north. You're not for everyone. And that's okay. Face your true north. The north is the element of earth. And ironically, the card you also got is activated earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're being led. Yeah. So, north. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Trust where you're being led. Okay? All right. So, let's see what y'all have been manifesting. What has Capricorn been manifesting? What has Capricorn been manifesting since the new lunar cycle? Well, that's a whole ton of cards. Okay. I don't normally do reversals in this deck, but I feel like I'm supposed to leave these cards in reverse. So I'm gonna intuit these. I'm gonna intuit them as in the regular Rider-Waite deck. Just feel like I need to do that. Okay. What aspect of the shadow self may be coming to the surface, or what needs to be known? What's coming to the surface? Okay. Okay. What needs releasing for Capricorn? What energies are coming in? Helpful or not? Let's see what energies are coming in, so we know what we're dealing with. I forgot I have one of my dogs in here. Hopefully she won't start barking crazy, but she seems to be getting a little agitated and panting. What new intentions do we need? Okay. And then what magic are we creating? Oh, that's super exciting. It's so fucking weird. I have to just show you, because we talked about at the new your new moon reading, you've got the full moon in Aquarius. As for those of you who weren't, well, shit, I don't even know where that deck is right now. But anyway, I used the Moonology Oracle deck, and a card that you all got is for setting intentions was I don't know if it was new moon in Aquarius or full moon in Aquarius. Well, you've got the star card as your end result, and that is an Aquarius card. Anyway, we'll talk about what that means, but I love this synchronicity. I just love it. Believe it. Believe it. Believe the breadcrumbs. Okay. So, what have we been manifesting? Let me look at this whole thing together, Capricorn. What have we been manifesting? What's coming to the surface? The shadow self. I've got to let this dog out. The pantings are driving me crazy. Come on, Juno. Let's go. Get out. Get out, get out, get out. Okay, what needs releasing? And what energies are coming into play? Okay, so what have we been manifesting? We've been manifesting some domestic harmony, some emotional fulfillment, some satisfaction with this 10 of Cups, and then a new beginning. A new beginning at home, a new beginning, emotionally speaking, of satisfaction for some of you. And, you know, a 10 is an ending and a beginning. So we've closed some chapters on the emotional healing of the Suit of Cups. And then we've started over. We started over with all of the experience before, and a new journey, not starting over. I hate to say starting over, started a new journey. But this is a card of emotional fulfillment, of satisfaction. You know, that's a happy couple with children playing under the rainbow. You know, 10 is the completion of the journey. So there's been a completion of healing for some of you with the sacral chakra, and the seat of self is where that is as well. So there's a real level of satisfaction for some of you that's happened, and that's pretty fucking amazing. It's pretty amazing. And then looking at the rest of this, trying to see how this kind of goes together here. So we got the 5 of Pentacles. I've seen this come up in a few different readings. The 5 of Pentacles is known as the poverty card. It is an earth sign. It is, you know, it is Pentacles are earth signs, so they are Capricorn, they are, you know, Taurus, Virgo. So it is here. We've got the 6 of Wands reversed, and we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. So there's been some disappointments for some of you. You're not seeing the results that you would like to see. And that I get from this 6 of Wands. So upright, the 6 of Wands is a card of victory and of success and of public recognition of being, you know, awarded for your accomplishments. So this is in reverse. And then we've got this, and so there's this, you know, this feeling of loss and lack. And then we got the Queen of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands, when she's upright, is charismatic, is, you know, charming and organized, and she's the one who likes to plan the parties. They, you know, they're in touch with their shadow self. They are, you know, confident in who they are. Remember, we talked about, actually, one of your intentions for the month is, I walk in my own authority in confidence. So that was something we would be working on. So, you know, upright, that would be the Queen of Wands. Well, she is in reverse. So we're not seeing results there in some aspects there. What we're seeing is some issues with some insecurities and some, and I think that has to do with this not getting recognitions for some of you, for some of the work you've been doing, and some dissatisfaction, like literally at work, for some of you. And then also this has to do with, I don't know, not believing you deserve the recognition and this fear of kind of stepping out into the limelight, stepping out into your confidence. And then we talked about that in the new moon, and that's what this poverty card's about. And, you know, so some of what's manifesting just is really, not that you're bringing this up, is that this is kind of continued, it seems like, from the reading that we did with the oracle cards, or not quite yet seeing the results. And that could be that either A, you haven't been doing the work because, you know, you didn't know that we were doing this, and so you're just now new to this, or you're just not yet seeing the harvest come in, and that's okay. That's okay. We're here to adjust, and that's what this midpoint is for. In this midpoint reading, when we follow and are tuning to the moon, is to check in. How are we doing? Do we need to make adjustments? So there's nothing to worry about here. I'm going to do a little bit of clarity just to get some clarity on that, since there's some reversals there. I'm going to use the shadow deck because it looks like we still have some of the same issues that came up with regard to these issues from 2 weeks ago. Okay, so let me get some clarity, please, for Capricorn on these reversals here. So the clarity that I got here, I got the Empress from the Dark Woods Tarot, the Dark Wood Tarot. The Dark Wood Tarot is a deck that it's based on Rider-Waite, but it also is specifically designed for shadow work, and it's for witches. Sorry, but y'all are with me, so you get to be a witch with me tonight. And I'm also ironically using the Modern Witch Tarot here. I didn't mean to do double witch work, but so this card is the Empress is the physical manifestation of the divine feminine. So we have the High Priestess, who is, you know, the part of the divine feminine that's in here. It's where all the ideas start and the planning starts. And then the Empress is the number 3. It's where things are birthed into creation. Okay, so she brings things into creation. She's the one who does the work, the labor. Okay, so when we think of the number 3 in numerology, you know, there's 1 and there's 2 and they make a baby. That's 3. Okay, so 3 and the Empress, she's about giving birth to ideas that happen in the High Priestess in number 2. So the Magician, you know, comes up with the ideas in 1, in the major arcana, okay? And they have all the tools and they have the ideas, and that's what you did when you set intentions at the beginning of the month, okay? You know, set the intentions to manifest things. And then the High Priestess is where we spend that time in contemplation and meditation and thinking about and communing with our higher self, so, and the divine feminine, on how we bring those things into place and finding out what it is, you know, that we want to bring in and how to do that. And then the Empress is what brings it in. She's also about sensuality and the divine feminine. I want to say you possibly, let me see what cards you got for the cards you got were tantric, and it was unlocking what we think we know about reaching wholeness. So because what I'm getting here is that there's some issues with the divine feminine coming through, and some issues, and this kind of thing is coming with this Queen of Wands in reverse with sensuality and this. Hold on, give me a second here. She's also, on top of all being all these other things, she's also the mother of the major arcana. So whatever issues we have going on here is tied to mother. God damn us mothers. We just cause a lot of problems, don't we? So whatever's going on here is tied to mom. And I guarantee you have some pain going on in the left side of your body. That's your left shoulder, your left hip, the lower side of your left back, your left knee. So whatever issues we have going on here, this has to do with mom, or a mother figure, or an influential woman in your life at some point and stage in the game. But coming from a shadowy aspect here, she's resting. And so this has a lot to do also with just resting on your laurels, okay? I don't mean to talk recovery talk, I can't help it. I've been in recovery for 10 years. This has to do with kind of not doing the work that's needed to go inward and to deal with these issues. So anyway, we're gonna find out what's going on. Those of you who are doing the work, you're manifesting emotional satisfaction and wholeness with this 10 of Cups. And then those who have not, you know, we've got some issues with our anger and frustration and fear of success, fear of not deserving success, a lack of hope, a lack of inability to see hope in your future. And then we've got, we're just not in touch with that shadow part. I think there's a fear of maybe finding that part of us, or just not even a knowledge of knowing about it. And this a lack of confidence in our abilities and who we are. And that's okay, because what's coming to the surface, this is the shadow card that you got as to, you know, as clarifier. And then what's coming up, it's the same fucking card. The Empress is coming in. The Empress is coming up. The Empress is coming up for you. So that's good. That's what's coming to the surface. She's also about self-care. Okay? So what energy is coming up is this need to deal with the feminine inside, the feminine, the divine. Some of you have never even looked at the divine as feminine, as at having a feminine aspect, or being female for that matter, or looked at yourself as a man, as having a divine feminine aspect within you, or a feminine aspect within you. So what's coming, what I'm getting here is the healing of the anima. That's the only way I can know how to put it where it's going to make sense to everybody, and that's from Jungian psychology. There's going to be some healing needed to be done to the feminine within, the divine feminine aspects. Okay, so I realize that there are people who are non-binary. I hate that all of this has been divided into two types of traits, masculine and feminine. So the only way I know to do it then is to say left and right. Okay, so this is going to be healing the left. Okay, or the right rather. Sorry, the right. And so this is about healing that, and this desire to create, this is going to be coming to the surface. But let's get some clarity, some more deep work, because this is like, what are the shadow aspects coming up? Because that's what we're doing here through these moon readings, is dealing with the shadow aspect and using the power of the moon to bring good things in our life and to let go of things that no longer serve us. So let's see kind of like what aspects of the shadow self are coming to the surface. I mean, someone's really got some stuff going on right here. I haven't quite figured out when I'm doing healing like this, if I'm mirroring you and your pain's actually in the right side, or if it actually is in your left side. I really haven't figured that out yet. I can't confirm it because, you know, I don't know who the hell it is. And for some people, it varies when I do healing. When I do healing face to face, it's opposite, like in person. But when I do healing virtually, it actually varies. Sometimes people are like, no, it is on the left. And some people are like, okay, no, it's on the same side of your body. But it like goes from my shoulder down to about right here in my back. And it's super painful. It has to do with, this has to do with mom and a verbally abusive mom. It has to do with verbally abusive mom. Lots of you're not good enough kind of messages from a mom or a grandmother who raised you. I feel like I have to stop and address it. I just feel like I have to stop and address it because like then I'm telling you this and you know it's for you and you're like, well, what the fuck do I do with it? If you have a partner or a roommate, then you can get them involved too. So healing is innate to everybody. We can all heal. All you need to do is just like, I don't know, try it. You don't even have to believe. That's like a religious thing. You don't have to believe in it. You're just gonna like try it. So you wanna, the pain, wherever the pain is, you wanna come about this far from the body. You kind of want to scan like this around the body. And since it's in the back, you're going to need someone to help you, likely. I don't know if you're going to have the ability. Because for me, what I do is I hold my hands here, but I imagine pulling the pain from my back to the front and then pulling it out like this, which I'm helping you do it right now. Okay, so you're going to find that hot spot where that pain is, but you're going to feel a response between your hands and where the pain is. We have all kinds of chakras in our hands. You may feel your fingertips kind of light up. What you're going to feel is like a resistance, or what I call a hot spot. And then this is kind of a larger pain. You're going to do your hands like this. You're going to pretend like, you're not going to pretend. You're going to envision yourself pulling. Let it sit for a second like it's a magnet. You're going to envision yourself pulling this out slowly. I'm feeling some stuff come out, whoever it is. I'm feeling it. I'm actually pulling it through the front. And you're going to keep pulling that stuff out. I mean, I think I'm doing it for you anyway right now. So what I'm feeling is some and if you feel like this might be for you, go ahead and just close your eyes and allow it to happen. I'm feeling some stuff, tightness around the chest. This is attached to the shoulder, but also the heart chakra because, you know, our words hurt. So, you know, shoulder pain oftentimes when it's in the shoulder has to do with words that made us shrink down in shame, okay? So you're gonna have to keep, there's a lot here. So you have to keep pulling. And you may need to take some layers off like this. Just keep taking layers off. Yeah, so what I'm getting here now, so whatever this was, you've been carrying the burden, a burden of somebody else's shit. Like, you know, the person who said these things to you, like it was their issue. And so it's causing like this. So some layers need to come off the back to relieve some pressure. And what I'm feeling is this tightness on my chest, like anxiety in the psoas muscle. So look the psoas muscle up too, PSOSAS. And some real deep old trauma gets stored there, which is why we feel anxiety and it feels like it's constricting here. The psoas muscle is attached around the thoracic, under the diaphragm, and then down around the hips. But this, I'm feeling thoracic and around the hips. And not around the hips, under the rib cage. So as I'm pulling from here, I'm feeling some tightness. So this is an old trauma, but it's causing physical pain. Okay, and I can't sit here and pull it all out, but you can do it. And if you want to do more work with me, you know, you can send me more work. I hate to leave you like this because I'm accidentally tuned into you and I'm feeling all of it. It feels very suffocating. So you can pull it out of you. You don't have to wait for me to do it. You can do it. Just believe your hands to be a magnet and pull it out. Just pull it out of you. And then as your hands lead you to do different movements across your body, believe it. Just fucking believe it. What else do you have to lose? No one's gonna be there while you do it. No one's watching you while you do it. And you're gonna feel relief. Okay, I feel a little relief for you. Okay. All right, I gotta disconnect because there's physical pain involved here. So our body does store the trauma in our physical body and it causes physical pain. Even if you say, well, I tore my rotator cuff. Well, there was a reason why your rotator in that particular shoulder was weak in the first place. And it has to do with emotional trauma and physical trauma, okay? So where the shadow is subconscious, it also affects our chakras. Our chakras are tied to energetic. Our chakras are energetic, but they're tied to physical aspects of our body, muscles, organs, bones, nervous system. But then they're also out here too, which is why you can pull from out here. So this is why some people feel like therapy doesn't work, because therapy does a part, and it does work. Therapy is one part of it. Well, then we got to go in and we got to clear stuff out of us. This is why exercising works for some of it, because running, if some of you may actually run and maybe haven't told anybody, but after a good run, you may fucking cry your eyes out. It's because you're jiggling those muscles, that psoas muscle, and then the vagal nerve. Look in the vagal nerve system that goes up your back, vagus nerve system. Because you're getting stuff out of your body. That's why yoga can do that. You may find yourself doing like a frog pose or a goddess pose in yoga and you feel this need to cry. It's because your body's releasing. That's actually part of the psoas muscle in your hips when you do this open sacral chakra poses. So that's a part of the healing. It's not that therapy doesn't work. It just doesn't work alone for some of these things. And energy healing alone doesn't work either. So any energy healer that says you don't need therapy, you don't need psychiatry, you don't need a doctor, they fucking don't hang out. Don't, just get rid of them. All of it together is needed, okay? And the tarot helps uncover things that's hidden from us, okay? Buried deep in there. It helps. And I do it all together. And I wish I had found this 10 years ago. I'd have recovered a lot faster. But anyway, okay. So I have to stop the healing part. But you can do that to yourself. I can help you if you need help. But for now, take a deep breath. Do an audible exhale. Feel that chest kind of come big. Think of like, I'm a sunflower. And that sounds weird, but that's one of the first moves Diodata taught me. I'm a sunflower. And exhale. And then breathe in again. I'm a sunflower. Let your head go back. Picture bright yellow. And then exhale. Try to do that every day too. I am a sunflower. Kind of come down. And then as you come back up, I'm a sunflower. Okay. Forgot what I was doing. Okay, so the Empress. We're going to get clarification on the Empress as to what is coming up in the shadow self. Mom issues. For sure. Well, let's see what else. She's also got the symbol of Venus on here. So this is going to be some romantic stuff going on. Love stuff. I mean, it affects us, you know. Let's see. You're going to be put in a position where you know, have trouble keeping your boundaries up. You got the 10 of Wands reversed, and you got the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So the 4 of Pentacles, he's like this, here. And then the 10 of Wands here. It's a little different in this deck, but ultimately it's about boundaries and guarding the work you've done. So some situations going to come up that's in that past been a struggle for you to keep boundaries up. Boundaries up in a healthy way. You've shut down in the past, covering that heart chakra up, kind of restricting, and it's in the Rider-Waite deck, he's known as the Miserly King. More concerned about the material things than the emotions and what's going on around him. I mean, he's also frugal, and there's some good things about him, but in the context of how we're reading this as a shadow aspect, there's a resistance to spiritual help, or just any other kind of help, even psychological help, here as well. But there's a nurturing part of you that's needing to come out, and that's wanting to come out, and nurturing and love, and allow love to come in, allow the people around you to love you, to nurture you, and allow this other stuff to come in. Where the boundaries need to be drawn, draw boundaries that need to be drawn. But then remember, being pliable was a word we had here. So, you know, you're drawing boundaries where they don't need to be drawn, and then you have no boundaries where they should be there. So there's a cross there, and those situations are going to be coming up. We're going to get advice on what to do with that in another set of cards. I'm going to get an activation card for that. And then something that I started doing new, I think it's really helpful, is at the end, I'll go in and put the pictures of the activation cards in the comments, because these are sacred geometry. And the purpose is to, through the colors and the shapes and the numbers and the way it's set up, it activates things in the subconscious. Don't ask me why. It just fucking works. I wouldn't share something with you that I wasn't using my own shadow work that I wasn't seeing results with, okay? So you got the crown chakra activation. And it says the frequency, oh, I'm sorry, you got the third eye, not the crown chakra, the third eye. That makes way more sense. The frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing and our imagination and our psychic powers. Totally makes sense, because, you know, for your word from spirit and from your new moon intentions, and the number that we had was, I am open-minded spiritually. That was something that we talked about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago-ish. You know what I mean? So you got the third eye activation card. So your third eye needs activation, needs clearing, and in order to be able to move to this phase. And I'll put that in the cards later. So the way that works is you just spend a little time looking at it, a few seconds, a few minutes, whatever. Take some deep breaths, and bam. I mean, I've had some reactions to some of these. When I first started getting into having to heal the masculine side of me, I had a literal volatile reaction to the divine masculine card. Like I mean, I really had a physical reaction to it. I don't understand it. Okay, so the next card we got, Capricorn, is what needs releasing. And we got the Knight of Cups. What needs releasing? What needs releasing from this Knight of Cups? She's busy. He's busy looking at the cup. She's looking at the cup. Who's looking at the Queen of Swords? Okay. So the Knight of Cups in general in this deck, in the Modern Witch, so romantic. Who's someone who's kind of obsessed with the idea of love, obsessed with new love and new, like, okay, this is somebody, I mean, in a modern sense, it's somebody who's like constantly swiping right and meeting new connections and likes that initial like newness and the new high of love. But I don't feel like this is necessarily about relationships. This is somebody who goes from one thing to another and gets really passionate about something and excited about something and gets completely focused on it and then moves on to something else. It's that new phase of the new, whatever it is, new job, new project, new person, new hobby, you know, new. Something new's kind of always got to have their attention. Also, this person is in love with being in love. This person is also, I'm getting to what the hell needs to be released by talking about this. This helps me, okay? It's gonna help you too. This person can be very analytical. Literally, this is my deacon on the end of July. This is a third deacon. This is a third deacon Cancer. That would mean the last 10 days of Cancer as far as a person. So some of you might actually have to release this person from your life. That would be when does Cancer end? Cancer ends the 22nd. So the 12th of the 22nd. Is this a third deacon or is that the page? Don't take my word for it. It's a Cancer. It is a Cancer card for sure. Okay. I have my new, now I want to look because I don't want to tell you to get rid of a Cancer as a third deacon when it's really like a second deacon. Give me a second. I'm still learning the astrological dates. That part I like the best. I think it's cool as hell. And it's work. It's how I picked. So I don't know if you know this, but you can go back to my actual Facebook page, which is Deborah Sangetti. I predicted like the election. I thought it was my first time picking dates, right? And I picked that the Senate would be 50-50 and that Kamala they would win and that she would be the tiebreaker. I picked that before the election even took place. And then I also picked the date that Georgia would decide the election, except for I did miss the nuance of the devil card. The devil goes down to Georgia. I just thought it meant, I did pick the right date though. And I did it by using the dates assigned to cards. The other stuff I just kind of intuited. I was like, I shocked myself. Okay, so we're looking for the Knight of Cups. That's what we're doing. Y'all may have noticed I didn't need my glasses tonight. Knight of Cups, Knight of Cups, Knight of Cups. The hell is it? Okay. Okay, okay, shit, no, this isn't, don't get rid of the third deacon Cancer. That's not a third deacon Cancer. Don't get rid of me. It's not me. Third deacon Cancer is the Page of Cups. I'm sorry. So the Knight of Cups is, okay, well, it's literally just, actually, it's actually, a summer card, a Cancer, Leo, or Virgo, actually, is what the Knight is. Oh, I need to do a little more studying on that. Sorry. So it's a card for the summer. Okay. Anyway, so it's a Cancer, Leo, or Virgo. So some of you may have a Cancer, Leo, or Virgo that you need to release into your life. But really, I think it's somebody who has a tendency to just be focused on things that make them feel good momentarily, and then they move on. It could be a literal, Casanova. It could be a literal Casanova. But let's find out what's in that cup that's got your attention. That's keeping your focus away from things. Because the context of this question is what needs to be released. Okay, so let's find out. Because in this deck, this literally is a person who loses interest. Nothing serious is going to come out of the relationship with this person because they're obsessed with just like the feelings that come from new love. How do I know this? Because I do online dating. So I do readings on people. Okay, so the cards that you got are the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Wands in the shadow deck. And from the aspect of being released, the Ten of Swords is about deep emotional grief and trauma. So maybe these things that you're filling your cup with are things to replace, to avoid dealing with, I'm clearing energy, the trauma. And then the Eight of Wands in this particular one is about vulnerability, and it's about karma in 8. I don't know what my dogs are barking at. There's nobody here. It's about getting vulnerable. It's about a spiritual experience. That's what the wands in this deck is about. So what are we releasing here? This is about releasing intentions out into the universe. What's done is done. We've set our intentions. We've released them. And we've let them go. We can't control them. They're out. They're already out. Our wishes, our wants, our desires, they're out. We can't control anything anymore. We just have to sit back. We have to wait for the results. So it's about releasing control of the things that we don't have control over. So it's like, it makes me think of the serenity prayer in a sense, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can. So we're releasing control of the things we can't change in our life. And then we're releasing deep grief, deep pain, deep trauma. But we first have got to stop filling this cup. For some of you, you literally are in love with being in love. You are, going from like new relationship to new relationship, even if it's for 15 seconds because you're swiping right. I mean, for some of you, that's what that is. For some of you, you're getting what I call like stuck in analysis paralysis, and you're not moving forward. You're getting stuck in the research. Okay, so stuck in your head and not moving forward. I want to find out what else is in this cup that needs to come out. You got the Death card. It's about transformation. It's about a complete transformation, like death to old idea. And this one's got the, oh yeah, this is that inner child. I don't mean to always talk about inner child. I really don't. But that's got a little girl right there. See that little girl with the devil? And then that's that, you know, broken angel there with the devil. Okay. That goes with that grief. There has to be a release of that grief. There has to be a release of that trauma and that pain, and clearing that stuff out of our body. That inner child. Look at her looking at that. That's so super profound. I feel like that's the shadow self that's created from the pain that this little kid goes through. And then we've got the Sun card in reverse. And this has a lot to do with, I mean, upright. It's about like, you know, just everything's joy, everything's roses, everything's positive and great. I mean, she's buck-ass naked and vulnerable, riding her horse into the sunset, to the sunrise. I mean, this is about happiness and positivity, and it's about in the regular standard rider weight. It is about you know, your inner child and the vulnerability and innocence and joy and approaching things with childlike innocence and joy. Where you've got it upside down. With this Death card, with that little child and that shadow self, with the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords is about literal deep. It's the end, right? It's the end and the beginning, but this is the final phase of it, and it is deep, deep emotional trauma and grief, and she's surrendered to it. You know, she's surrendered to it, and she's finally dealing with it. And the swords have to do with thoughts and attitudes and our mind, but it rules the heart chakra. So how we think and feel and believe about things affects here. This is connected. This is all connected. And the swords also have to do with our intuition. So it's logic. It's our logic. It's our third eye. It's our intuition. And it's our heart chakra. And that's what these swords rule. So this is the kind of pain that's really deep, you know, like it's really affects the way we think, the way we see things, the way we learn, the way we perceive, the way we sense things around us, the way we love and receive love especially, or block love, because you got over here, you got that Four of Pentacles where you're like this. That's what's coming to the surface. And then you've got the Wands here where she's, you know, naked. She has thrown out her energy. Wands are about action. And this is about, you know, things are in motion and you've set it out and you're doing what you need to do. And she's vulnerable and she's trusting and she's hoping and she's naked. She's laying there vulnerable to attack even, you know, but she's not thinking about attack. So when it comes to what needs to be released for Capricorn, I mean, really all you got to do, you just have to look at the pictures. I don't got to be a psychic. I mean, I really don't. And you've got the Sun card in reverse, which is a major arcana card. It's an archetypal theme of your life right now. There's just, you know, there's been no hope. There's been, I mean, like, not that there's been no hope. Like a loss of innocence has been gone for a long fucking time. And then, you know, you like, I mean, like that's complete defeat. Deep grief, deep trauma. And then, you know, that Death card with that little kid and that shadow self next to him. I mean, you know what these cards mean. You know what that trauma is. You may not know like what to do because maybe you have done everything you can, but maybe I just feel like you haven't. You're doing things to avoid dealing with it. And that's our coping skill. That's a coping skill. So let me just rephrase that. Fuck Mercury in retrograde, because my compassion is not coming out the way that I intend it to be. This is a skill set we developed way back when to survive It's a coping skill. It's a survival skill. So in one of the recovery programs I am, and we don't call them defects of character. We call them, shit. It was basically like a coping skill, a coping mechanism that no longer serves me. So it was a brilliant idea that back when I got injured in my home of origin, my toxic family, that I came up with this coping skill, that I still even had any hope of love in the first place. But no wonder why I'm seeking these little quick love romances to fill that stuff, right? But this is a coping skill I came up with way back when to survive. But now this is no longer serving its purpose. It's keeping me from being happy. It's keeping me from my son, from fulfillment, from wholeness. So now it's like, okay, you did your job. It was brilliant to come up with this coping mechanism, but this is just something that's no longer serving Capricorn, serving you, serving us. And so now it's time to release that behavior pattern of filling up and looking for things outside of us to make us feel better. Okay? So that's what this is about. Looking for things to make us feel better, to change the way we feel. Just for the moment. I'm not getting addictive like behavior here. I'm not getting that. We could get the devil card. We could get a million other cards for that. It's time to face what's underneath that and get like true fulfillment, true wholeness, so that we can have that feeling no matter what the fuck is going on around us. And that is something that's possible. You couldn't have told me that a year ago. And some of you know me and you know that. Like, okay, so that's what needs to be released here. And then, so what energy is coming in to help? What part of self is coming up? What energy is coming in from the universe? You got the Queen of Swords. That is somebody you want on your side. Especially when we're talking about breaking through some cognitive dissonance, because that's kind of what's going on here. You know, this is, the shadow is a part of us that we're not really aware of, where there's some denial and some sense of detachment, but the shadow is us. And so we have to be gentle when we bring it in. But the Queen of Swords is someone who is, she just cuts straight through the bullshit. Now, so all the queens in the tarot have mastered the suit of cups. So they're all loving, compassionate, and intuitive and creative. They've all got the suit of cups mastered on top of the suit that they're in. And she's the suit of swords. So this is logic. This is intuition, ruling the heart chakra. Okay. So she cuts straight to the bullshit. She loves us. She's a part of us, but she loves us. She cuts straight to the bullshit with intuition, with logic, able to separate emotion. I'm not talking about dissociation. I'm not talking about detachment, because then she's that's a bitch. This is an air sign. So some of you have to know a Libra or an Aquarius or a Gemini woman who's like passive aggressive and rude and like cold. Okay, that's her upside down. Okay, we're not trying to be her. Shit, right side up. This person, it's okay when she's direct with us because we know she loves us. We know that she's speaking truth. And so so all of the court cards are truly aspects of our personality. Okay. So all of us have this Queen of Swords in us. Now, has she been allowed to be there, or has she maybe been upside down? Sometimes I get her upside down. Sometimes I get her right side up. I mean, like, we have our days. This energy is coming in, whether it's a form of a spirit guide coming in, if it's your higher power, if it's a friend, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius friend, a partner. But this means clarity is coming in. Just straight up truth, the ability to see through the bullshit, the ability to intuit and to logically look at the situation and healthily be objectively separate the emotion from it so that you can deal with the heart of the matter. So she's got a butterfly on her throne here. No, that's not right there. She's got a butterfly on her throne there. That's a symbol of transformation, a metamorphosis. So that energy is coming in to you in the form of the Queen of Swords. It's going to be gentle. So queens are more passive and influential. The kings are the ones who are more like action. So this energy is more passive and influential and guiding to gently bring you through this process. So it could be in the form of a professional who's got this personality, someone you know who's got this personality. This could be a part of you that is coming to the surface, but this energy is coming in to assist you in some way. Be open to it, invite it. Some of you know this part of yourself. You have met this part of yourself in the past. Maybe it's been a minute since you've met this part of yourself. Some of you have a friend coming to mind, or a family member coming to mind. This energy is coming in. Allow it to come into your life. I'm going to get a little bit more clear. I don't really think, well, I'm going to get clarity just for the sake of getting clarity, because this is a reading for one person, but I don't feel like I need it. Also, there's a raven, a crow or a raven in here. So for my pagans, it's time to get with the Morrigan for some of you, and then Odin as well. Macha is an aspect of the Morrigan that has an affinity for women and children who have been harmed and neglected by the abusive power from abuse by people in power. And her name is, she's one of the aspects of the triple goddess Morrigan, Macha, M-A-C-H-A. She's a Celtic goddess. I feel like I need to mention that. And then also Odin, Allfather. So I don't know if this is a raven or a crow, so I'm feeling like both of them need to be mentioned for some of my friends open to the pagan world. We got the Knight of Cups showing up again here in this deck. And then we've got the Four of Swords in reverse. The Four of Swords is about letting go of old ideas and old concepts about love. That's what these mean together. I mean, this is what it means alone, but together even so. This is about letting go of old ideas, cutting through old ideas of the way things should be in all areas of your life around love and romance. I mean, I have to mention that because this knight in this deck is, again, he's a little charmer. It's a little charmer. And it's a she too, or a they. This is just aspects of personalities or people in our lives. Okay. And then this Four of Swords is about recovering. When it's upright, it's about recovering from the Three of Swords, which is about having our heart fucking ripped out of our chest. But this is in reverse. So this is about like letting go of how we think things should be. And we need this energy of this no bullshit clarity in our mind to come in. You know, she's got the Three Swords above her. They're very kind of threatening, but she's got that dagger in her hand, you know, ready to stab that mother effer. So even though she's resting, she's still ready to just, you know, fight back. Are we still clinging? This is about clinging to old ideas, old ways we think things need to be. And then the expectations we have around what love is. And that just kind of, you know, goes back to this. This is why we need this Queen of Swords. Remember, she rules, she rules the heart chakra. She's mastered cups. We got cups and swords here. But she's able to, you know, help us step away from these patterns in our relationships, in our friendships. And these relationship patterns play out in different aspects too. It's not just romantic. I mean, if you step back objectively with your Queen of Swords energy, and look at things objectively, right? With intuition and logic, separating self and emotion out of this, you'll see a level of that same pattern in your close friendships, in your volunteer work, in your, you know, closer relationships at work with your bosses. You're going to see a similar pattern. It just doesn't involve sex and love, but there'll be a similar pattern and a similar drive underneath that. And what we're talking about happening here, what's going to be coming to the surface, what needs releasing is the things that we're doing to kind of like deal with, cover up that under there. And for some of you, this is literally manifesting I mean, right now, there's still so much pain in my left shoulder and around the shoulder blade and in the back. And this is pain that I've dealt with. So this is this is y'all stuff that I've got all over my back. Also, there's a sweet Cancer coming in your life. That would be me. I'm just saying. I can be a Queen of Swords too. I have a lot of Gemini in my chart. So I can be pretty direct. Yep, there's our Three of Swords. You know, it's time to release that pain. You know, that's what this Four of Swords is afterwards. It does definitely fucking has to do with pain. Some of it's romantic pain, but even behind the romantic pain, what drove us into those situations in the first place? Or what exasperates that romantic pain? in the first place? What makes it that much more painful? That rejection that much more painful? That abandonment that much more painful? We're talking about getting beneath that. And when this card comes this way, these swords are being released. This is about having your heart fucking broke wide open, ripped. This is a very painful card. Mind, you know, your spirit, your soul. This is a crushing grief, heart break card. You know, you got it upside down. You got the Four of Swords upside down. They're in order with this Knight of Cups. So this is why we need this part of us that can step back from this pattern around love and objectively look at this. Okay? I mean, my heart's hurting. Okay? There's a reason why we keep these patterns going. And why no matter how hard we try, we keep getting ourselves in the same situation. And I'm speaking as someone who's done this. In the same situation with just a different mask on their face. But you've been walking around with this broken heart. With this, you know, idea around love. That needs to be dealt with. That needs to be dealt with. That needs to be released. And that's okay, because the right energy is coming in. And we're going to work through that. And we're going to use the power of the moon to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is put up, I think tomorrow, after I think I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to do the water signs fucking earlier. I can't keep doing them this late at night. I need my sleep. I'm middle-aged. I need a good 8 hours sleep. Is put up a video tomorrow about like a releasing ritual and some of the things that I do to help release. Because like rituals are helpful in these situations. Okay, so then as far as intentions, you got the reverse Page of Pentacles. What are new intentions? So the page is a very curious, driven, young, excited aspect of our personality. I mean, in other situations, it could literally be your child. But I mean, this is about intention. So this is an aspect of our personality or a way that we behave. Okay, so a page is a very young, and it's like being new at something. When you know, when you get into something and you're super excited about it, and you know, you're really curious and you're looking up things and you're studying it and you're just really focused. And so Pentacles is, you know, earth signs. It's about things with the root chakra and just the fundamental things of life. Okay, so upright, this is about really kind of doing like just the mundane tasks of life and being zeroed in and focused on it. And that's what you do, earth signs. When you get on some shit, you are focused, you are steady, you are consistent, and you keep that nose to the grind and you get that shit done, especially you, Capricorn. This card's in reverse. I'm really feeling that it's like we got to change what the focus is. So the focus here has been on the material world. And that includes, you know, your family and your kids. I'm not saying neglect them, okay? But remember, we talked about this card being having our focus, you know, on things to fill that void. But this is about, you know, the things that we can see, the material world, our five senses. But work, tasks, studying, doing, learning. Some of you are like just perpetual students, but this is saying we've got to shift gears. We need to shift gears and be more balanced about that. And let's find out what we need to do instead. Okay, what do we need to do instead? And I am going to use the same deck. Let's use the same deck. All right, well, shit. I can't fucking make this happen. I can't make it happen. You got the fucking reverse moon, okay? So another major archetypal theme, karmic expression, glimpse into your subconscious. The reverse moon is about dealing with repressed emotions. I don't make this fucking shit up. You can look it up. I'm not making this up. This is about making healing a priority. It's about dealing with self-deception. There's deception in this moon card. There's repressed emotions. There's, you know, lunacy, so to speak, in this card. There's a disconnect here with the subconscious and the deep subconscious and the intuition when it's reversed like this. And in this deck, there's a little, look at that shadow coming out of the water. I can't make this shit up. I invited your guides, I invited your ancestors, I invited your deities, your God, your goddess to join us, to speak. I invited Archangel Metatron to help us rise above the Akashic records and our karmic debt. Sorry, but I did it. It's gonna happen anyway. Archangel Uriel. And then I invite some other archangels in here too. And some of them have to do with rewiring neural pathways in the brain. There's a lot of angels, they do a lot of cool shit. I don't know, I'm a weird person. I like involve it all, okay? So instead of focusing on all the material stuff, over-focusing as we can do, earth signs, we need to deal with these repressed emotions and the shadow stuff. I mean, and when it's a major arcana like this, like, dude, that's just, it's gonna fucking happen. It's just gonna fucking happen. I can't. One thing I will say about Mercury retrograde, it's making me be way more direct, so I'm sorry. I'm being way more direct than normal. I'm so sorry. But this is all from love, and I can't help it. I'm gonna blame that shit. I did invite Archangel Gabriel here, though, to help me communicate, so maybe it needs to be that way. But basically what these major archetypal theme cards are saying is, like, this is about forces outside of your control, Capricorn, are bringing these things to surface. But here's what I believe. I don't believe that there's some force outside of our control making you miserable. I believe at the core of who you are and the essence, your true self, you want to be free. So you're sending those vibrations out into the universe. You've had pain in your life. You've cried out here or there. You've whispered things in your sleep as you go to bed at night, as you're worrying, whatever. There's been some time in your life that you've sent out a cry out to the universe. I'm about to cry. You sent a cry out to the universe in the depths of your soul to be free. So it's being answered. And one of the things that, like, you know, with 8 being, you got 888 3 times. 888, that's the number you got. Karma is king, karma is king, karma is king, karma is king. But karma isn't like, oh, you're getting what you fucking deserve. That's not how I view karma. It's like, you know, the things, they're coming back that we put out into the universe. You put out a cry for help at some point in your life, and the universe is answering. And I'm seeing this across the board with all of the signs. You see the way that I deal my cards. I just fucking shuffle them and they jump out. I cannot make the same cards come out or the same, you know, stuff come out. And you can look up the meanings for these cards. I'm using basically Rider-Waite. I mean, okay, maybe on the shadow deck you really can't, but it's gonna happen one way or the other. My advice is to pursue the healing yourself. That's my advice. Because the other way is the Tower card coming in. You know, and that's where, you know, the water keeps boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling, and then the fucking lid comes exploding off the top, right? Something causes us to break down, or to provide us that opportunity. I just feel like I'm gonna see what else. What other new, so your new intentions have to be to deal with these repressed emotions. And with this being the moon card, I say follow the moon to do it. It makes it easier. It's an organized way. You're organized. You like organized. You like structure. I love it. I mean, I'm a Cancer. The moon is my planet, so I fucking can't make this shit up, y'all. Did I just not mention the Tower? This card's about self-limiting beliefs. This card is about self-imposed prisons. This is about freeing yourself from the prisons in your mind. It's about saving yourself. And if you notice, the number is 8. It's the 8 of Swords. But you also got the Tower. I just said the Tower will come if we don't deal with this on our own. The Tower is about something coming in and wiping out the foundation. Like literally wiping it out from underneath us. Okay? The purpose is, if you notice here, the crown coming off. It's about an awakening, shifting our perception, exploding through the mind. So, I mean, one example that I can give you is, like, you know, I was married to a drug addict for a lot of years, in love with him. He was my best friend, okay? And, I mean, the marriage was struggling because he couldn't stay sober. And then he relapsed for the umpteenth time, and he went through our money for the umpteenth time. And I said, go to treatment for the umpteenth time, and he said no. Hi, welcome. And I said, okay, you know, go to treatment or it's over. And he left, and he didn't go to treatment, and he went to jail again. But then I realized I needed to divorce him. And it was the most excruciatingly painful thing to have my marriage end. Well, my marriage had been ended for a long time, but I was blinded to like the reality of the situation. But when I finally had my eyes opened up, it was extremely painful. I mean, that's like a tower moment in a sense, okay? Like, you know, went through all our money. I mean, I could have avoided this tower moment way before we lost $20,000. You know what I mean? And it got as bad as it did. I'm sure. Maybe I couldn't have. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? So there's opportunities that are put in our path to be able to, you know, make the changes on our own. But eventually, the culmination of avoiding dealing with this is going to come. And that's what I feel like karma is. Not the universe doing shit to us. It's the culmination of the results of our indecision or our decision kind of coming back to us. So, intentions this month: releasing repressed emotions, dealing with shadow, following the moon as a part of it, attuning to the moon for that part, you know, and then dealing with these self-limiting beliefs. You know, write down everything you think about yourself, how to find your shadow, everything that you judge about yourself, everything you fear about yourself, everything you are ashamed of about yourself. You know, write that shit down. Then on the other column, write the exact opposite. You know, and it's some painful work. I recommend, if you're not in therapy, getting with a therapist to do this, because you might need the backup. I honestly couldn't have handled the amount of shit that's come out if I hadn't been in therapy for 10 years, 11 years, and then been in recovery for 10 and been sober personally. But I did have a lot of trauma go on. I had a lot of shit come out. These are our intentions. Deal with our self-limiting beliefs. This is about a paradigm shift, you know, shift in the way we think. This is about both of these are about dealing with repressed emotions. How this happens is up to you. You know what I mean? Is it going to come in, wipe the fucking foundation out, or is it going to be something you pursue, you know, through shadow work, through therapy, and through following the moon, or, you know, those are just some suggestions. So when we talk about affirmations, I just give you the cards give us a big bullet, give us some suggestions, but how that comes into play truly is for you to decide in your alone time. Self-limiting beliefs, dealing with repressed emotions and the shadow self, a literal paradigm shift in the way that we think. Crown chakra, that's the activation card. You got the third eye. I keep thinking it's a fucking crown chakra, but I mean, that's what's going on here. This is divine intervention. But what ends up? What's the fucking result? What's the result? All this shit we just talked about. You got the star card. You know, guess what comes after the tower? This is number, I fucking hate Roman numerals. It's number 16. This is number 17. So you're going to get through this, Capricorn. If you do the work, you're going to get through it. You have to go from the tower to this star card. Those stars at the top represent the chakras being aligned, being connected to the, you know, the star chakra up in the divine, that seat of the divine above us. She's got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. That's the connection between the conscious and the subconscious. She's naked and vulnerable. You know, the water is the flow of emotions and intuition. And this is that beautiful space of clarity and freedom and liberation that happens when shit's been just, I know you've been there before. I've been there before. You know, when you finally get clarity after, like, the wind's been knocked out of you, and then you've put yourself back together and whatever. This is, you know, that place of freedom. And guess fucking what number it adds up to? 17. It adds up to 8. That's your fucking number for this month. Karma is king this month for you. And I'm excited. That's some good stuff going on. And to get to this place, I kind of want to read something to you about this card. Like, I was studying today. I mean, I know what the general meaning is of all the cards, and I can intuit things, but I'd like to study what some of these specialty decks have, because it just gives, I don't know, just gives some more insight, and it just, sometimes it's like, oh, that's fucking beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And what I really love is numerology. I could literally just do numerology readings all day long, but the tarot is a great call. Just great for uncovering the subconscious stuff that's hidden in there. And you can get your own tarot deck. I started off by getting my own tarot deck and I got a Rider-Waite deck because that's like the most common deck, and there's like so many meanings. I mean, the meanings are consistent, but you can get like different kind of variations. And I just look up meanings. Now, it would take me hours to do a 3-card spread for myself because cognitive dissonance is fucking real, and breaking through your own cognitive dissonance is kind of even harder. But yeah, you can do that. Or you can buy oracle decks that come with little booklets with actual, you know, like a couple of pages in there to help you. You know, I can help you pick out a deck if you want, but yeah, they have all kinds of decks. There's a million kinds of decks out there. What was I doing? Star card. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, so wait a minute. The Tower. Mayhem, destruction, collapse of whatever doesn't fit to begin with. Needed recalibration, shocking events, abrupt clarification, empty space. So the Star card. The Tower has been toppled. The Shadow Witch makes her way through the smoldering rubble to discover a vast and peaceful body of water. Under a clear sky, she sheds her clothing and sits at the water's edge to bathe in the starlight. A single toe gently breaks the surface. She teeters on an ancient tree while looking skyward. Okay, this is a different, you know, picture, but the star is the open, generous space emerging after the tower destroys what is no longer needed. The star is the inspired space available after true energetic clearing. The star reflects freedom. It reminds you of what is possible when it is hard to see through the static. The star is the opening of the soul. It is the card of possibility, of life and connection. It is the breeding ground of true magic. Generosity fills this star card with the ability to be kind to others and to the self. The body is alive and open and warm and receiving. The state of reception allows ingenious ideas to burst forth. An unexpected possibility, a thrilling opportunity, or a situation beyond your wildest dreams becomes available to you. The star is naked, losing all self-consciousness. She is vulnerable yet active. Celestial radiance showers upon her. This is the energy of the artist and muse. It reflects your connection to water, earth, and sky. She operates freely. The devil has relinquished his grip. The tower has cleared the decks. You radiate hope, relief, and pleasure. That's the end result for you, Capricorn, doing this magic for the rest of this lunar cycle. Just gave me goosebumps, gave me chill bumps, spirit bumps. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to put the activation cards and put the stuff that needs to be released kind of in the comments. I think that worked for the last reading, but I'll be back in, I don't know, 2 weeks for sure to do the next month's new moon readings. If you want to schedule energy healing or a reading with me, I do all kinds of readings. I do love doing shadow work, but I can do all kinds of readings if you need to move, if you meet a new person, all kinds of readings one-on-one. Also, I said energy healing. What else? What the fuck was I gonna say? Some of you came in the middle, but I wanted to show you the cards that I got from the beginning from my Starseed Oracle deck. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north was a card I got for y'all. And then activated earth. I mean, north is the element for earth. I mean, the element earth is associated with the north. When I got activated earth, trust where you're led. From the Starseed Oracle deck. It's about not, you know, feeling at home here so much, being connected energetically. Okay, so don't know what else I was going to say. Kind of got lost there. I'm going to blame Mercury in retrograde. But tomorrow I'm going to wrap things up with the water signs. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just beginning. If you have ideas you want to send me, inbox them to me because I'm just figuring all these things out for this live channel. I love doing these readings. I love getting to know you. I love sharing this process with you. I'm going to close it out with, you know, namaste, the heart center. The spirit in me recognizes, love, adores, and is connected to the spirit in you. As you work to free yourself, Capricorn, you help free me. And as I do my work and we do work, we help free each other because we are energetically connected to one another. And so when I say that I love you, I truly do love you. I do carry your pain. I am an ultimate empath, so I feel your pain in my body. And so you getting free means the world to me. And it is important to me to help you get to that place. So anyway, I love you. Have a great night. And I'll be adding those things to the comments shortly so that you can adjust your intentions through the rest of this full moon. And then I'm pretty sure tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to be putting up some ideas for releasing rituals so that we can, work together with the power of the moon to get rid of some of this shit. Okay? All right. Love y'all. Have a great night.